Mic on, Jim. Mic, turn your mic on.
You want to hear your voice? You got yours on?
Mic on.
So Tammy can hear us now?
Yes.
You can?
Good.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're calling this meeting to order. And Tammy, from long distance, you get to have the invocation.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for getting this group together so that we can make good decisions for our city and pray that everyone has made it safely through the last few disasters that we've had with the weather. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Yeah.
Okay, probably didn't supposed to, but how's your grandchild doing?
We're all home. He's doing much, much better. They're still in quarantine and will be for at least another couple more months because he can't even catch a common cold right now because he has no immune system. But other than that, he's doing fantastic.
Good. All right, Danny, would you do the flag salute?
Pledge allegiance to the
The
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we need a roll call now.
Trustee Anthony. Trustee Calhoun.
Here.
Trustee Cross.
Here.
Trustee Johnson. Trustee Reed, present. Vice Chairman Scheer.
here.
Chairman Thorpe.
Here. All right, the first order of business is consider an action and approval of the minutes of regular meeting, call meeting from December 9th, 2020. Have anything on that?
I've got a couple of questions about it.
Okay.
I noticed on our financial report that we wrote a check. The meeting that we're talking about approving is in December the 9th.
Sorry, if y'all can pause for just 1 second, we gotta fix the live stream real quick.
What are you doing?
The live stream just needs to be working.
I still working on my side.
Okay.
That's good.
Pause for just 1 second.
This is our YouTube channel.
Right. Can I come around there?
It's active.
What are you doing?
The live stream needs to be working.
I still working on my side.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Right. Oh, okay.
Ready?
Yes, sorry about that.
I noticed on the financial report for last year that on December the 17th, which was 6 days after that meeting, there was a check written out for $35,000 to Imagine Do Rent or a master plan, and I don't see that as being a part of what the minutes say, so maybe we need to change those minutes to say what is going on. First of all, minutes are not, you can't act on minutes until after they've been reduced to writing by the clerk or the secretary or whoever's designated to take the minutes. And then it, by Robert's Rules of Order, which is part of the Oklahoma statutes, and by Oklahoma statutes itself, and by an attorney's general opinion, normally what's done is it's brought back to the next regular meeting to be approved. And then it can be acted on because it has to be put in writing, and each of the members have to have a chance to see that that's really what they were voting on. And they did. And then it needs to come to the group. I suppose it could be done in any legal meeting, but what they talk about is, in most instances, it's the next regular meeting that's scheduled.
And we know that
And
before you approve the minutes, a lot of times they're changed, and so it's not written in stone until it's approved.
that's the reason that the law reads the way it does, is because there could be a scrivener's error, there could be a misunderstanding of whoever was taking the minutes, or anyhow, that's why it's supposed to be reduced to writing and then brought back to the group before any action can be taken on their votes. And I think probably the city, that's one reason they wait a month to.
So you're saying that with that $35,000, it should have never been a check wrote on that until the minutes are approved, because that could have been changed before the minutes are approved. So really, we jumped the gun on that.
We jumped the gun on the check. The minutes themselves don't really explain what I understand happened. And I wasn't at that meeting, so do y'all understand the minutes to say what happened?
I do, but I was present.
Well,
I mean, they
do we
presented
Mm.
have any of the paperwork that's supposed to go with a grant? Like a grant application or request, or,
Like on the rest of the grants.
yeah.
I didn't see one. Do we have one? Did Curtis ever make one up?
as notes that were presented from Kara, that's what I'm assuming.
I didn't even know that Kara was involved in it until I saw the agenda that said it. And I understood it to be a master plan. It's what I was told, what you told me, Janet, that it was a master plan for the whole of Durant relative to tourism and economic development of tourism. And at least what came out in the newspaper, it says expert advises on how to bring tourism to downtown Durant. So apparently that's the way the people at this meeting that was held understood what was going on.
I think they perceived the same thing, yes. And it wasn't meant to be like that.
And that's not really what our minutes say.
Mm.
And then to go back to there was in the, let's see, this is December the 9th packet. I went back and looked. There is I don't know what you call it, a preliminary something that was taken off of the computer from Roger Brooks of Destination Development Durant. And within that, at the last part of it, it's supposed to be done in phase 1 and phase 2. Did they say when phase 2 was going to start?
Phase 2 has already, it's been given to us. That was his plan.
Well,
Now, Janet, you got a report on that, didn't you? On his report on what he did?
We did get a report. We have not met with the group that have Destination Durant is what the group has been calling themselves. And we have not went over the report as of today's date.
I think we need to get all of our paperwork in order.
At the next meeting.
And this check was written to Imagine Durant. It wasn't written to this Roger Brooks.
Right, that was because Imagine Your Rent was the one that made the presentation for the,
But we have no paperwork showing he was taking the responsibility.
I don't have the packet in front of me, Charlie, so I can't remember.
There wasn't
what
in
was
any
in
of
there.
this stuff.
What did you just read? If it wasn't in the packet?
What's in the packet is a tentative, this came from December's meeting.
Okay,
A tentative schedule for, as I take it, phase one, the way it reads. And then it gives you a tentative schedule as to when.
so that is the proposal that you are holding in your hand, that.
Yeah, but
Imagine Your Rent.
I don't know who proposed it.
Okay, let me look real quick. I think it says right there. Okay, that's from him exactly, but this explains exactly what was done.
But
This was what was presented.
who's putting that to us? Is it Roger Brooks or is it?
The agenda states that it does not say that Imagine Your Rent is in there. So you're right, the minutes do need to be corrected in that. But Curtis, and help me guys if I'm wrong, but if my recollection is right, Curtis introduced himself and Kara introduced herself.
As what capacity? Citizens of Durant? Or-
Curtis introduced himself as a board member of Imagine Durant. Kara is the executive director.
And that's not in the minutes.
Apparently not, no.
What I'd like to do on this is, I don't see any way that we can approve these minutes right now. I think when it comes to this, it's got to do with our attorney. I think we're gonna have to pull this up at the regular meeting at the second Wednesday next, I guess that'd be about the 10th or 12th of next month. And we're gonna have to ask him these questions because I don't see anybody in here that's legal.
Should you tell him where he can be?
Yes,
I mean,
I'll get in touch with him and let him know.
it may
Oh, we
not
have
be
coming up.
that he can answer off the cuff right away. He needs a little time.
He needs to know. So I'll call him up. Probably tomorrow morning and let him know. I'll go by his place and let him know what happened. And that way he can see what was legal and what was not.
And I would like Jennifer to address the conversations with the city that in giving authorization for POs to be moved forward.
The city has had the practice with us from the beginning that with the draft minutes, we can request for the POs. And then when the minutes are approved and final, then we send them those to also have on file for their files in case they ever get audited.
I'm sorry I didn't.
You have to talk slower and a
But
little bit
we-
louder with that mask on.
Jen, take the mask if you could. just-
Yes.
Thank you.
So the city has had the practice from the beginning of the authority that we can request POs and do the payments with the draft minutes. That's what we would submit.
Well,
But I can follow back up with them on your concern
the law doesn't
and,
allow us to do that.
okay, we can follow back up with them on that concern and get
What
that.
I would like us to do, so that it's not all on your back, is I think that our treasurer should initial off on anything that we ask a check to be cut for.
Okay,
And really, I guess, we don't know, this has all to do with the minutes. Who authorized the check? I guess you authorized the check to be made?
There's
To
a
Brooks.
PO that has to be created. Once the PO is created, I sign off on it. Jennifer moves it forward. I sign off as a trustee member after the minutes are done, which we have been instructed from the very start was the way to do it.
Well, I think what happened to us in the very beginning, we got impatient with them because they were waiting at least a month before they'd cut anything. And I think that's because of the practice that the city has, waiting on the minutes.
And I
Sorry,
do,
can't
and I,
address that because I don't know.
And I
don't know
do-
that either, but I think that's what we should do, because it's what the law says.
and I do believe that we authorized her to go with a check. But the only thing is, usually when that is done, from my standpoint and your standpoint, is that the minutes has to be approved before she can authorize the city to do the check. But a lawyer will know.
Did the trustees authorize a check to Imagine Durant?
Not that I know of.
It was approved in the meeting. When you guys approved the request for proposal, that was approving paying Imagine Durant.
But it's still, the minutes hadn't been,
There is
Yeah.
a correction that needs to be made in the minutes.
Yes.
That I agree with, because it's not stating who the representation of the committee was. The proposal was attached to that, which Charlie has a very valid point. It does not have Imagine Durant's name on it at all.
It
They
also
presented
doesn't
it-
say that it was just for downtown Durant.
And, you know, I can't argue.
And apparently that's what Brooks came to do, was downtown Durant. I want downtown Durant to be in it, but I want the whole community to be in it.
yes. Well, to make it legal, you have to. It's not just for one part of the city.
For sake of moving forward today, then, the correction, and I need to understand, for my sake, the correction needs to be made in the minutes, that it was Imagine Durant requesting the funding,
For
correct?
downtown Durant.
No, they did not request it for downtown Durant. They requested it for the tourism, which went along with this. And so I can't substantiate a paper article.
Now, these are the dates that certain things are supposed to happen.
Right.
And the two meetings did happen. But at the end of January, the 28th, and then I think on over, there were the first, here it is, week of February the 1st, we should be getting a printed PDF copies of the overall plan, and they'll send us 6 printed bound hard copies of the plan will be sent to Durant. This is the week of February the 1st. Have we gotten any of that?
Yes, we do have. I'm not sure about, Crystal is here representing Imagine Durant. today.
Shouldn't that be printed? I mean, shouldn't that be?
It was listed, we had that listed on the agenda today, and Jim asked us to remove it for sake of time on the report.
I tell you what we need to do is, we're not going to solve this today. I think every one of us, you need to make us a copy, every one of the board members, a copy of the whole meeting, December 9th, where we can listen to it, and that way you can understand it, and I can. Legally, I don't think we can write a check unless it's, the minutes are approved. But I'm not a lawyer. It's going to take our legal counsel to understand that, because I might be wrong too. But we're not going to get this done today. But I think every one of us ought to have a copy of that whole meeting to where we can run over it and listen to it, write down what we need to know. And we'll send one you need to send one to our legal counsel too. And so,
I'm not a
He was
lawyer
here.
either, from what
was
I'm
present.
saying, but I can read the law, and I make mistakes, as anyone does. But what I'm afraid of, we're taking public money and using it illegally.
we need to be right. Yes, we do. But if you want, like I said, let's just take no action on this. We'll get this to the lawyer, and then we can not approve these meetings till next regular meeting, which will be on I think it's 10th or 11th.
I would like to see us also have a motion for the treasurer to sign off on all expenditures.
That's not listed as an agenda.
I know
item.
that's why
Right.
I'm just saying that I'd like that to be on whatever agenda we come up with to discuss this.
Then you can put that down for the next meeting, right? The regular meeting.
Yes.
Okay? We have that down. Okay, is everybody okay with that? We'll just no action taken. We'll just go to the next.
Okay.
We can talk about this for another
Jim,
30
once
minutes, but
again,
until he gets
though,
here.
That is on the YouTube channel for the city. The whole meeting is.
Sure.
So
But you can
all
also,
you have to do is go to that channel and it's there.
I know, I understand that, but as far as me as a chairman, I want everybody to have a copy of this for your files later. So is anybody having a problem with that? Okay. Okay, let's just, no action taken on this. Let's just go to number 2. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, number 2, review the DTEDA financial reports, treasurer.
And he is not available today, but he did say he went through them and said that he did not see any anything out of the ordinary. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to collect those to take back to him.
I think it ought to be pointed out what I brought up about the date. And the whole, we don't have any paperwork to back up. That's what we should have been doing.
And that's November 2020 and December 2020. My
Yes.
personal opinion on that is no action taken on that and let him give a report on that at our next regular meeting, which is in about 10 or 15 days.
There's no action required on financial reports.
Well,
They're just information
but
on
it'd be
there.
good for him to make a report
Okay.
then. Okay. Anything else on that? Okay, number 3, discuss and consider approval of the unity statute presented by the mayor, Odin Groovy. Here we go. Jenny's not coming up today, huh? Well, if you need her, you can.
I have a drawing Jane did.
Okay.
For us, and I'd like to pass it around, let you guys look at it. It's kind of what we anticipated to
Mhm.
look like when it's complete.
That looks good. Now, the only thing is on this right here, what is that? Is that just for Durant? So that's for Magnolia?
Yeah.
On this right here, you've taken it to the chief, right?
Yes, in fact,
Because-
he's the one that really insisted that we could do that part of it.
Okay. Because we want them happy. This is what we're making it for, and we want them happy. I think a lot of people will look at this. I think the Choctaws will be, but I think people will look at this, even part of tourism, just come over and take a look if they know it's there.
What,
Yes.
what is the scale of this? It doesn't have a scale on it.
It's on your-
Here's
it's on
the,
your-
here's the actual architectural drawing, but, each feather is 30 feet in height. They're pretty.
The height up where they join,
Each, and then, of course, when they bend it over, it won't be that tall, but.
you're talking about the feather by itself.
Yes.
It's 36 feet in height.
Is it going to be 30 or 50 foot? How tall is it? Looks nice.
So it's, third, 36 feet and 8 inches.
Is that the height of the crossing?
This is, yeah,
Okay. Now, where's this gonna be?
oh, that's over there. I had asked Brandon Wall to come, but he couldn't today. It's gonna be out at the Washington Street exit, and the place we picked is on ODOT property. So Brandon Wall called ODOT, and they said that we could put it there. And Janie, me and Janie and Brandon and John, who else was it? Just Kara. We went out, it was real cold, it was in November, and picked the spot. We wanted a spot that could best be seen from the east, or coming north or south.
Yeah, now that's where the park is out here north of town, right?
Yes.
And, but it's going to be right out. We used to have a big Christmas light deal right there at that corner.
That's kind of what it's gonna be.
Good.
The angel. Yeah. there's
Yes,
a
we did.
plug- There's a plug there, and it will have 3 spotlights, I guess you could call it, 3 spotlights on the statue at night.
Yeah, there was electricity right
Then
through
James
that.
Dalton told me there was electricity, And,
And are you going to have a plaque, and what is that going to say?
where the,
Okay.
it's gonna basically, and we'll probably add some more to the story though.
A symbol of the never-ending friendship between the Choctaw Nation and the city of Durant.
And I.
How many people do we have, how many do we have contributing to this project for the Choctaws? Is the city going to contribute money to this too, the city of
Yes,
Durant?
The city has purchased the metal and the labor for them to do it.
Great.
And,
Who's gonna be doing the,
what is that company?
Labor.
It's called Texoma Millwright and Welding. He used to be Scott Crane's business, and his dad is Gary Forbes,
Okay.
the young man that runs it. I can't remember his first name.
So his dad used to be a banker at first, I guess.
He did out for what used to be Country Club, up on the hill.
mhm.
And of course, the price of steel is very
Yes,
volatile right now. And I believe, we did get a price on the Magnolia.
Yes.
If they will do the Magnolia also.
Yeah.
the total price on this is how much?
It's gonna be about 101,000.
It's
Wow.
all included in the
We put
packet.
it in the,
Sure.
we put it in the,
Sure.
and the,
Are they gonna do the painting and everything else?
yes.
Yeah, it's an anodizing, so it will never have to be painted.
Good.
We didn't want it to rust, and it's a process I've never seen happen, but I know that.
It doesn't have to be baked on or anything
Well,
like that.
it's they sort of submerge that metal and it.
Yes.
I mean,
It'll be in concrete, I'm sure.
It's in, I guess,
They do it like they ionize things. and-
yes, that's the word, yeah, anodized.
And I didn't look in there. Y'all looking for about $35,000? Or how much y'all are wanting from us?
Oh,
25,000 is on the.
Yeah, I know it is, but I'm just asking them. You got people out here too.
if you want to give us 35,000, we'd be more than happy. I really feel,
See, I made you look good.
Negotiate. I really sincerely believe that this will be something very unique because the way our country is now, where if you're white or black or whatever, and this will bring unity no matter whether the Choctaws have a different culture, they have different thoughts, they have different ideas. And with us working with them, I think it'll bring unity and hopefully, it won't be a statue of people who want to tear down because it will
Yep.
stand for unity.
So,
Jim, as you know, the Choctaw, I don't know if everybody knows, but they give us a lot of money.
yes, they do.
The $2 million for the expansion of the airport and 700,000 or 850,000 they just recently gave us for the expansion of the waste treatment plant. And then we get the quarterly checks that would go out.
Yes, that's what I was looking at because in the paper you get a quarterly check from them. So they do help us.
And that is to go on the streets.
Mhm.
And when Jamie and I went out and talked to Chief Patton, I was very impressed with how humble he was. The first drawing we had, he said, I don't want this to be something for the Choctaws, just the Choctaws, to honor the Choctaws. I want it to be something to show the unity between the Choctaw Nation and the city of Durant.
He's a good man. I've been out there to see him 3 or 4 times. And whoever I take in, he does the same thing as Greg Powell. And I graduated from school with Greg Powell. Every time I go in to meet him, and I'm sure he does it with you, he doesn't sit behind his big desk. As soon as you come in, he goes and sits in a chair. And Greg used to do me the same way. And they have a pencil and pad, and they literally write down everything you say. And they don't stay behind that desk. The last one didn't do it either. And like you said, for them to have that position, they're humble.
And he was very diplomatic about the way he talked. In fact, he took his wedding band off and talked about the circle of unity.
Okay.
And said that was he said he didn't want to offend us, so he was very diplomatic, the way he said it. But we are so tied in, our city is named after a Choctaw.
Sure.
The city of Durant and the Choctaws are very tied in with everything we do. They did choose to put their nation here, which I think is a lot to do with why we've grown like we have.
Do you know how they chose that?
I don't know, do you?
The Chamber of Commerce was the one that got that deal and then gave it to them for them to come here.
Yeah, that bit, the
Oh,
bill,
the
the bill.
Yeah, and it still looks beautiful,
It does.
as compared to our city hall right now.
Well, another thing we do, you know, everybody gets excited about the little peanut down here, right? Well, it's not the big, it's a big peanut, right? And, you know, it's amazing. Every once in a while I'll pass by there and there will be people out there taking pictures of that. When we put brochures out,
That's
If we
gonna
decide to do
happen
that-
with this.
yeah, if we put brochures out, that's one of the things we name when they come. You always name that peanut out there. You can always name that. And people, you'll be surprised, but they look at that thing and a lot of people will go out and take pictures with it because of that. So, any more questions?
Just for clarification for the minutes, this, if this is approved, this check will be made out directly to the city of Durant. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So the money will be given to the city?
Yes,
Okay,
Do
thank
we
you.
have any requests on our forms so that we can keep our paperwork all straight?
We don't at this point, but that's on the agenda today, Charlotte.
Okay.
We're going to be able to vote on that. This is actually a proposal. When Odin came to us, this is what we asked her to do, is to give us a proposal, and she did.
And so she's representing the city who's asking us to do this.
Yes, and that's why I wanted it to be reflected in the minutes, that that's who the check would be
I
written to.
might add, the council did vote. We've kept the project a little bit quiet because we didn't want something to happen and us not get to do it.
Yes.
And then embarrass the Choctaws or embarrass ourselves. I might say also, we're gonna move, Dixon Durant, the statue, from Market Square, we're gonna move him down to the court, to the city hall. He won't interfere with the big peanut, but he'll be right to the right of the door. He's not very well seen, and Jamie agreed with that. She's the one that did the statue. He's kind of lost down there at Market Square.
Well,
Now,
we gave,
Will those trees be magnolia trees that are planted around it?
Yeah, the small.
The
Mhm.
small,
Right.
yeah, it will.
Odin and I had a discussion about the magnolias this morning, so.
you know, I don't see any problem once we get this through. We did the same thing for the wall out here. We gave what, $25,000 for that?
For
We
what?
gave 30
Oh,
for the
yeah,
wall out
the
here,
wall.
the
Yeah.
healing wall. And then we gave the city of downtown Durant 35. So, you know, the only thing I would say, we're writing this check to the city. I would still like to have our attorney here next week to approve all this stuff, to make it right. I don't know if we've ever wrote it to the city before. Maybe we did, but we just need it to where the attorney approves all this stuff before we can vote. But I think it's an excellent idea. I think it's neat. I think it's going to be another attraction here, and I think a lot of people do it. If they'll even advertise it at the Choctaw Casino, they'll have people come in and look at that too.
Well, see, we plan to have a really big to-do when we have this. We want to have a ceremony and have people out there, have, you know, the chief there. And of course, we've just kind of been thinking about this, but maybe have some of the Choctaw singers and some of maybe the high school band to have a mixture.
When we brought this up about a year and a half ago, the man that was over the Choctaw tourism, or one of the people, I talked to him after the meeting, and he literally thinks, and I don't know if they can still do it or not, the Irish people and the Choctaws are close. The Choctaws gave them money when they were having problems over there 100 years ago, and they've always been close to us. He seems to think, and I don't know who's over it now with the tourism out at Choctaws, that they could bring some Irish singers and people over here, and that would even make it bigger. So I don't know if y'all can steal that, but I mean, my gosh, you know, you bring the Irish people over here and the singers out there, that would get some people out here. We'd see a different culture is what we'd see. But I don't know if that can still be done.
Well, we're gonna try to make it as big as we can, and I don't know if I should use his name, but Waddell Hearn is over, events, and I hope he's not watching. He might have had his J-bird mouth, but, he did tell me when I mentioned it to him, he said, oh, Odin, as long as we can not have the social distance and all that's behind us, we can provide food, we can help y'all set it up out there. And I also, and I think Janie can help do it, I'd like to have a medallion made, just like the statue, to present to the chief also. So he can.
Sure.
We could sell those.
You could. You could.
Do you need a motion?
I don't need a motion because we need to find out if the check is wrote in the city, if that's okay. We just need all of this set in here for next month. We can vote on this. I don't want to get ahead like we did on downtown Durant. We got to ask him about this, we'll ask him about this, and when he says okay, then we'll do it. I'm sure it's going to be, but we're not legal up here. We need to keep it.
I think that's probably wise because the relationship between the city and this trust is kind of a different relationship legally. And so we do need to do it properly.
And see, we want to be able to say, that would make the tourism committee a partner.
Sure.
And I have to admit, Carol is not here. Carol Bird has been right there from the start with us.
Yeah, is the DIA, are they happening all on this or can they not?
Actually, I have not talked to the DIA. Like I said, we kind of kept it a little bit quiet just in case something happened. We've been working on this, as you know,
I know.
Jim, a
Long time. Well, we have our regular meeting coming up March the 10th. That's only about 10 or 15 days from now. So we can,
Come back again.
that's good. We'd love to have you. And if you want to present a little bit more to where our lawyer can look at that, we'd appreciate having y'all. Okay, thank y'all a bunch. Anything else?
No, I don't have anything else. I just hope that
Yeah.
you vote for it.
Oh, we're coming there. I tell you what, she did a good drawing on that thing. Looks good.
That's the RT stuff.
You bet. Thank you a lot.
Thank y'all so much.
Okay, and if y'all want to come back on the 10th, we'd be happy to have you. Yeah.
Well, we need to be here. Would it make it better if we were here?
I think it would. I think it would because that way we can ask our council something. And if we need to ask them something else, y'all can explain it to them too. Yes. And we'll try to put y'all at the first of the meeting.
Would Brendan Wall need to be here, the engineer? Are there going to be any engineering questions anybody's going to have?
I don't think we'd have to have that, do we?
I don't think we'll have to, but I mean, if he wants to come and it doesn't cost you money to get him to come.
I know he had told me he's in McAllister today, but he said if we had any questions, he would be happy for us to call him. And I'm
Sure.
happy to if we didn't really need to. So maybe next month, it could be where he can.
If he's open, he can do that. If not, y'all presented a,
And I think all of you know where we want to put it.
Yes.
So if you do, then we don't need to take y'all out there and show you. So
Now I guess he's aware that area right there is kind of like a funnel when the wind's blowing.
I'm glad that's a big deal. The engineering is really big. And the first person that I went to talk about construction was Mike Fowler at Fowler Construction. And he, from the very beginning, talked about the engineering and how it needed to be absolutely a structure that would stand there. And that's really why we added the middle pole. Artistically, I'd rather not have that middle pole there, but he insisted that it be there. And so he's the one that recommended the Texoma Millwright company because of the fact that they had, Mike said that they were such a big company, the Fowler Construction, that the Texoma Millwright people could roll those feathers or do something that he really, I think he's being nice. Saying he just maybe didn't have the time. But he has been really the mastermind for this whole thing from the beginning. And when I called him the other day to tell him that it looked like we were going to have a good chance of getting this done. And of course, he's been out in on it for a year and a half too,
Yeah.
talking to me about it. And he's thrilled. But first thing he said was his cost didn't include the engineering cost, but because he wanted to make sure an engineer was involved in this
Yes.
project. So.
Yeah, the structure of it's gonna have to be
we
good and
didn't have
sound.
the cost, I believe, Jenny, didn't they? We did.
Everything is in that
Yeah,
proposal.
for the
Thank you,
engineering
Odin.
part of it. Oh,
Everything.
It's so horrible.
Yeah, he didn't want it,
fall
yeah, he
over.
didn't want it to,
Oh,
Mike doesn't want to fall over either, and he's been in business a long time, so of course
Mhm.
he would be concerned about it.
I got on a website, Ireland, about probably 9 months ago when we started talking about this. And if you get on there at a certain point, the Irish has a monument, sort of like this, you know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's got about 5 or 6 of them. You've seen it, haven't you? But it's over there. That's right, it's small. Well, we appreciate that. If y'all come back, we'd love to have y'all, and that way, if we have any questions, then we'll be able to vote on it then, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
all
much.
so much.
All righty, appreciate having y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, next one is discuss and consider approval of advertising for 2021. The number one is Mix
I
96.1.
think we need to state that we're going to table that.
You want to table that?
Which one?
So he's not here, is he, Jay Lindley?
Jay is here,
Okay,
table number 3.
so we need him up here for a minute then?
Yes.
Okay,
So basically, this is just kind of picking up where we left off. Back in July, we came and talked about stuff regarding the network broadcast for Southeastern Oklahoma State. Obviously, the football season got postponed. We were back on track in November. I was actually on the agenda for January. Of course, didn't have a meeting in February. We're already like almost through what this deal would be as far as that goes. But what we're looking at doing is just picking up with what was approved for the last 2 months, which would be March and, 3 months, March, April, and May is what we had laid out on that original contract. Of course, with that, we've got basketball is about over. We start up next week, though. We have a conference tournament going there, baseball, softball, volleyball, all this stuff.
does Southeastern have spring football? Is that coming up now?
They're not going to have spring football. They're
Wow.
going to have a few scrimmages, but not having a full-blown season in football this year. That's just not, matter of fact, that was all canned by the conference back in, back in like October, whenever when they officially canceled the season. They are, like I said, matter of fact, they've got a scrimmage this Saturday against Midwestern, and it's out there. But that's pretty much what all of Division II in our area of the world's doing right now. MIAA is doing the same thing, as is the Lone Star Conference.
So this spring, where's the advertising going to now?
It would be all the spring sports that we're doing. Now, they did redo volleyball. Volleyball is actually having a season, so we do everything for them. So baseball, softball's going on, the remainder of volleyball, and basically whatever's consistent in the postseason.
Do you know the volume of the people that tune in to the 90?
I can pull you numbers on the views as far as like the viewership of that. I know that like one thing that's in a weird way with COVID, just for basketball, we've had average around 2,500 per broadcast that we've had. So, of course, COVID's played a role in that because of lack of fans and social distancing and everything else. So
How far does your radio station pick up?
that's the thing. It's a whole encompassing deal. Part of this is our video broadcast also. So we provide all the video broadcasts for the university. We get unique hits on those top items down in Texas, up to Kansas, Arkansas, basically a lot of places where recruits come in from as far as that goes. As far as the radio station goes, the way that we broadcast the games isn't just on one station. It's on multiple stations at once. I know when we met back in July, I gave you guys a network packet that showed the coverage areas for each respective sport and how it worked. For baseball and softball, that area is a little bit smaller, but it still is from Van Alstyne up to McAllister, over to Hugo, and then over to Medill. It's a little bit more of a slender oval, I guess you
So
could
it's
say.
not a 25-mile area. It goes all the way down to Van Alstyne.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, because it's on multiple stations at once. It's not just on one radio station.
Okay.
For baseball and softball, it's on actually 3 radio stations. And then, of course, the video stuff.
So Jay, this would be a charge per month dependent upon the package that we selected if we decide to go with it.
Yes, and we would just, what we would do, I was, a matter of fact, and I was looking at some of my paperwork. When I sent stuff to y'all in for the January meeting, the idea was to pick up in January because we had basketball season starting immediately and everything else. Well, with not being able to meet and I guess reapprove what has been approved, we wouldn't actually start this. So like the paper that was given with the deal amended from cutting it from August down to January. Well, I amended that paperwork to make it January to May. Well, now here we are going into March. We wouldn't be able to actually start any of this until March at the earliest.
So it would basically be a 3-month period?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if we decide, obviously I would work to get on the agenda this summer prior to the upcoming sports season.
How would we be branded on it?
So a couple of different things. One, I know that you and I talked a little bit about the video commercials and stuff that have already been done and some stuff in the works. We could utilize those. The other aspect about this, aside from just being in game, is a player profile feature. One of the cool things that has come out of COVID to a degree is the technology aspect. And so we've kind of figured out a way to do these little mini 3-minute long player profiles where it's just, people hear me enough on a broadcast as it is. So you don't hear me asking the question. You just see a player talking about, oh, my favorite home cooked meal is meatloaf and mashed potatoes or whatever. And we put that all together into a video format. We use it as a segment within the broadcast, but then a carry off of the broadcast itself is that we put that onto our social media and the Southeastern social media. So we can take your logos, the Discover Durant logo, have it setting there on the video portion of this, have a pre-roll ad with it. The cool thing about that is we have found that those type of things have kind of a secondary life because they get shared back home with the player's family and community. So it's not just necessarily a local thing.
Yeah.
And from this standpoint, from a tourism standpoint, again, you're going back to people who have a point to come here on an annual basis while their kids are here playing sports.
So how many people, you're saying it goes outside of Durant. So do you think with advertising like this, it will pull in people from Van Alstyne and all around to come watch these ball games?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
Durant?
if you go to, even now that they've started allowing fans back in the stands at the Southeastern basketball games, you've already seen an influx of people because it's parents, it's grandparents that are coming to see these kids. And most of the recruits, I want to say out of 250 some odd recruits that are in football, baseball, and basketball, the huge portion of those are actually from North Texas and our Grayson, Collin County, those areas of the world. So you're already kind of getting a little bit of a draw. It's just further reinforcement on those guys.
So apparently some of them would come and eat in Durant, maybe go down to the shopping centers, and a few times they'd be at the motel staying overnight.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Any more questions?
Especially even, it's funny you say that, more so probably on the spring sports than even on the basketball. The reason I say that is basketball is like single night games most of the time. This year's been weird, but most of the time when we go on road trips, we go like out of town and we're out of town for multiple days at a time. Whereas baseball and softball, they're 3 and 4 game series that are played over 2 to 3 days. They have those games on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I guess I could say the opportunity to actually have family members staying extended period of time is actually probably better with the spring sports than they are with any of the others.
So what we have is 26, 27, and 28 is what we're looking at on the pages.
Yeah, mine aren't numbered.
Yeah, that's on the bottom, 26, 27, and 28. So these are the three packages you have for us, right?
Yes. I want to say, because I don't have the same thing y'all have, y'all are free to pass this around. If I remember correctly, I think that version is what y'all had settled on.
This is one.
This is the three that they're looking at.
Gotcha.
So that's going to be on number 28 is what he's looking at. 28 is the one he's
27. 27, yeah, 27. Because there's only a slight difference in the amount of commercials. Because there was there's one, the proposal on page 26 is one that I'd put together for y'all last year because we've got the station in Ardmore. And we had looked at putting together a deal where we had ads running over on our Ardmore station as well, just because it's an hour away. But then I guess because I put together just three different proposals for that meeting, what I was told was the one on 27 was the one that you guys were the most interested in. And that's kind of where, then we had football get canceled. So we kind of got off track.
So this is the one we've already settled on, right?
Yes. The only aspect of this is just to basically get back on track with it, so to speak, and finish out the year.
Sure.
If we were going to do something after this sports season, then we would, I would again try to get on the agenda
So
in July.
how much have you, we've already gave you?
No, y'all have not received a single invoice yet. Nothing happens until because the way we invoice stuff, we don't send out invoices on anything until it's actually aired. So for example, in this predicament, if we started this in March, there would be an invoice that comes out at the end of March. And then in the month of April, an invoice at the end of April, which would be the 1st of May, for the month of May, at the 1st of June.
So
Everything's a month behind in my business.
So this is not January to May now.
No,
it's gonna
it
March.
would be March, March, April, May.
And what would be the total price on that? It won't be
well,
$1,100.
pretty easy to add up here.
There's a monthly charge, Jim, at the bottom. that
Sure.
says monthly.
I understand, but it was starting in January to May.
Yeah, if you
I'm
did
just saying
it,
what March to May is now total.
all it would be is you take that number and multiply it by 3, it'd be 3375.
3375.
Yep.
When you say billboards, what are you talking about?
Okay, those are just lingo for broadcast terminology. So you've watched any sporting event you've ever watched on television. NFL on Fox is brought to you by Bud Light, brought to you by the Hartford, brought to you by, that's all that is. So for us, when we do a broadcast, you'll hear, today's Southeastern broadcast is brought to you by your local Texoma Chevy. There's Choctaw Casino Resorts, so forth and so on. That's all that is. So it's an opening and an outro. It's just basically a sponsor mention.
Any more questions? We're looking at from March to May of this year, and this is on page 27, and the price is going to be $33.75. Of course, it's paid out in increments.
Yeah. And then on my part, the only thing I would need to know on the back end of it is billing information. Like, where does it officially need to go to? What needs to be the name on the account? Those sort of things. Those are things I'm sure I could communicate after the fact with Janet, but those are just a few things that I would need.
So what we're looking at is maybe considering this approval. If we don't, when we get up to April and May, it's too late. It's got to be done now, right?
Yeah, at this point, because we really can't sit and wait on next month's meeting. If we do, that would be what, March 12th? By then, we will have already missed, we're kind of behind now, to be honest.
So what we're looking at is 3375. Anybody want to consider this approval? Anybody want to make a motion?
Make the motion we approve.
I'll second.
I'll second it. Oh,
Oh, there's Tammy.
Do what?
Tammy seconds. Tammy and I.
Okay,
both second
Tammy beat you.
it.
And Danny made a motion. Any more discussion? Okay, let's have a vote. Roll call.
Trustee Anthony. Trustee Calhoun.
Yes.
Trustee Cross.
yes.
Trustee Johnson is absent. Trustee Reed, yes. Vice President,
You're doing good.
Vice Chairman Scher,
Yes.
Chairman Thorpe.
Yes. We thank you, Mr. Lindley. You answered all the questions. I think it'll be a good deal and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to number B, U.S. travel brochures. You got them in front of you? What page is that on, Janet?
It begins on page 29, which
29.
you can't see the number with the graphic there, but just, I don't know whose sheet that is, but I'm going to slide it under here. So USA Today has reached out and offered us an advertising opportunity with them. So they, on their travel, it's their USA Today Go magazine that they produce. You will primarily see these like in airplanes in the pocket seat behind the seat in front of you. They have millions printed annually, and they also have 10 million who receive a digital version of their publication. They are offering us, let me get back to that, I apologize. They are offering us a half-page ad, and they will create the ad and also then give us the ad, so then we would be able to use it on other advertising materials if we want to, for $5,000.
This is a one-time deal?
Yes, well, I mean, this is what they've reached out and given us the deal for, so
It's the summer edition.
summer edition.
Do we have what the ad's going to look like right now? Or we may want to.
No, when we approve it,
Summer edition.
once it's approved with this authority, then we will go back and let them know that it's approved, and they will begin creating the ad, and then they will send us the ad for approval.
When is the publishing time?
It's the summer edition, so the publications will begin going out in June,
So we have to have this in by what?
March 1st.
March 1st. Man, that's close.
That's why we had, that's why
So
we
it's
have it
gonna
on
come out-
today's.
So it's coming out in June. Okay, it's a summer edition.
Yes.
There is a text on that text, the summer edition.
Anybody else got any more questions about putting it in USA Today?
Only question I got is how we gonna cut the check on time?
They don't have to, they won't bill us for the check. And he has stated in the materials that they will bill this at whatever rate, that they will bill this we need half of it billed at one portion and half of it billed later. But the deadline, that means we have to commit to doing it by March 1.
Gotcha.
And we still have to get everything in.
Okay, and by
Correct,
March the
but-
1st, do you already have to have your ad?
No, by March 1st, I just need to tell them the authority approves for us to do this ad.
And when does the ad come about? What deadline?
Well, they'll create the ad, so they'll get it back to us within a couple of weeks from that, so that we can give them the approval of the ad for it to go into the magazines in June.
Any more questions? We have a motion?
I make a motion that we do this project, but
Charles makes a motion on the U.S. travel brochures. You got a second?
I'll second it.
Tammy's going to second that one. She beat Janet again. Okay, we'll have a roll call vote.
Trustee Anthony, absent. Trustee Calhoun.
yes.
Trustee Cross.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson is absent. Trustee Reed, yes. Vice Chairman Scher.
Yes.
Chairman Thorpe.
Yes. Number C, collateral material. I've heard that collateral before. What does that mean?
Is that like collateral damage?
On the
Well,
opposite
no
side, yes.
damage.
Collateral materials are
All
printed
right.
materials.
These
that-
two,
Yes,
Okay.
should be three.
doesn't have anything to do with this one. That's
It
it.
also has something to do with that one.
Okay,
So what we are requesting with this is to set a budget for us to be able to create, because as you can see, these are examples. Like this is ours that we made last fiscal year when we were still traveling a lot. This is the chambers, it's the map, and this one is a downtown Durant one. And so
What page-
what we would
what page,
like,
what page is this on this?
it's not in the packet.
Okay,
Okay, so what we would like is to request a budget for collateral materials for us to be able to go and create different collateral materials for Discover Durant so that our branding is across the board on all of the collateral materials that are going out.
do you have a cost on each one of these separately or what?
No, these are examples of what we would like to create. That's why we're asking for an overall budget. And then with each one that gets created through graphic designers and different stuff like that, we'll be able to come back and you will be able to see them then, and we'll be able to let you know this, like, for example, I would say we got this one in. This one will be 2,000 of our 7,500 budget of the
So-
collateral materials.
So what price are we talking on this collateral material?
We would request a budget of 7,500.
7,500?
Yes.
And you don't have them separate?
No. We have the examples for you now, and then we will create
How
them.
many?
The reason we're doing this is so that we can just start getting with designers and getting the ideas there and doing that. And then we will come back with each individual to let y'all see.
How many brochures on each one of these? Can you tell me? How many on this map and
We
how much?
don't know, Jim, until we send it out. What we're
Okay.
trying to do is keep it in the brand the
Uh-huh.
same. We're trying to professionalize all of the materials that are going into the different racks, brochures, so that it takes on a professional, so that they will see our Discover Durant brand. And that will be first and foremost on all.
I believe if you're gonna do it, you need to do it right. We don't need something out there that,
Well,
looks
and that's
bad.
what we're asking for.
Mhm.
We're asking, we want to get a graphic designer that will come in and begin to design these for us so that the brand is going to be across the board.
sure. I guess you can put this at the Choctaw Welcome Center out there too?
We're hoping.
Yes, Denny.
At the Roger Brooks thing, has there been anything done on that, a committee set
Yes,
for
and
me?
you should have,
Because he was talking about logo and branding and,
you should
And,
have received that. Actually, Danny, this was already in the, if you remember, this was on the January that we did not get to have. We had already started that before Roger Brooks even came in. So that is part of
Mhm.
what,
And let me put it this way. We had,
it seemed like then did he say something about Discover, he didn't like Discover Durant, and he thought something else would be better? I mean, I don't think he made a proposal,
he didn't make a proposal, but
but
he,
he said Discover, for some reason, stuck with me, he didn't like.
I think he had some big ideas like rink for 20, downtown, all that stuff. We'll be bringing that up next time because we cut it out this time on Roger Brooks and that. We'll have that back on there and we'll probably go into about a 30-minute discussion on that.
Okay.
And we'll bring out everything he proposed. And I'm sure every bit of it's gonna cost $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 each person.
Not more.
Place. But, it doesn't make a difference, but we will get to that. So let's get back to this
now,
right now.
we need to be practical about what we already have in place and start trying to move that forward. One of the problems he did say was that the brand wasn't out there. That's because we haven't been allowed to do exactly what we were trying to propose that we do. We need to brand it and push it forward. And
But-
by doing that, we're going to be coordinating all of the literature that's out there with the Discover Durant brand on.
But we'll be bringing that all up next meeting in about 10 days. We're looking at US travel brochures. Anybody want to go any farther on that? It's $7,500.
Wait,
And it makes it more quality and professional.
We're on collateral material.
we already approved US
Well,
travel
collateral
brochures.
material, Yeah. Collateral material is 75. Sorry about that. to upgrade it and make it professional.
Charlie, did
On
you
all these
understand
brochures.
that?
No. what page
$7,500
are we on?
a month.
Is for a budget to, I mean, I'm not going to say that there's not a chance I'm going to come back and say we need more money, but it's a start to get us started on getting you
I've
know,
talked to Janet about this,
cohesive and everything.
I really believe that if we're gonna do this, it needs to be done right. I mean,
Yes.
we want people to look at this and somebody
Yeah.
We
knows how
don't
to do
have
this
individual
better than we do.
options on
Yes.
this. We're
I don't want this
asking
stuff just
for
sitting out there and they
allotted
say, well, I don't wanna look at that.
amounts to go
So
out and
I think
get
it's good
as
that
many
we
brochures as we
do
possibly
it like that.
can to
So this would
protect
allow us, yes, to start looking
because
for
each time we have to come back,
designers and doing that. So
each time we have to come back and get approval on something, it's slowing us down 3 months. Our tourism season is starting. We're getting ready to roll in.
You know,
Mhm.
yeah, it's
We
starting
have to
February.
have
What
literature.
are we talking about? Where is this in there?
It's
These
right
three?
here in front of you.
These three.
Tangible assets.
You're
that are
talking
out there.
about these three pieces.
No, we're talking about many more things than these three pieces. We're talking about doing a brand across with any collateral materials that we print so that we can get these ready to go.
Really what we're doing is we're trying to upgrade it to make it look professional. Instead of just somebody around here putting them together.
Is the chamber going in on this too along with us or?
this is for the tourism.
It's for
Not-
tourism. That's why it will have the tourism brand on it. Discover Durant. These are the brochures that this is the only thing right now that we are printing ourselves. Those are examples, Charlie. We want a map that has Discover Durant on it. We want a downtown map or a map of the entire city that has Discover Durant on it.
And where are we putting these?
So these will go to the welcome centers in the area, like in the Denison one, the Choctaw Nation one coming back into Meade, at the regional airports.
And
Since
that's
we
another
also,
one on number 6. Possibly we can have that too at the Choctaws, right? But
yes,
that's number 6.
yep.
All of
Okay.
these go across the United States. We
Okay.
put them in all of the welcome centers. When we are at travel shows, they're distributed to everyone that comes by.
You know, me personally, I think it's worth a try. And we can look at it, and if they come in and we're not pleased with it, we sure don't have to do it next year.
I'll make a
Is there an
motion.
expense in here as to what we're talking about?
7,500.
$7,500.
What we're just asking for.
What page is that on? That's what I'm
It's
wanting.
not on the page.
It's not in the packet. This is just, we were coming just to talk on it.
She's giving the presentation. This is for Discover Durant. This is
I
coming from
understand
our
what you're saying.
authority.
I just think we need to have a piece of paper that we're gonna be working from, but
The
I
only thing,
understand it.
yeah, if
But-
we. wait
But
a-
you'll come later, right? You're going to come back later with
Yes,
the paper to,
Before we even print it, we
Right.
can bring it back to show you guys and let you know the cost. This is just a starting budget of saying, here's 7,500 to begin making us professional collateral materials.
If we have more information on it, can we get more information on that and have it at the March 10th meeting? That's only about 10 days. Is that gonna make any difference?
It's gonna make a big difference
Mhm.
Jim, because we have to roll this out. Our
Now.
tourism season is
To get it
now.
in, yeah, until we get it this summer.
We're actually are behind.
Okay?
I'd like to approve it because I think we need it. We need some professional things for everybody to be able to hand out so they can, have something to read, look at, and read what all we have to offer.
Denny has already made a
I'll make
motion.
a motion.
She's already made a motion on that.
Well, then I'll second it.
$100 for initial budget for development of collateral materials.
We got a second?
I'll do it. I'll second it.
Tammy on the second. Need a roll call? Vote?
Trustee Anthony, absent. Trustee Calhoun.
Yes.
Trustee Cross. Trustee.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Trustee Johnson is absent. Trustee Reed, yes. Trustee Vice Chairman Scher. I mean, I'm gonna
Yes.
make you president or something, Debbie.
Yes.
And Chairman Thorpe.
Yes. Go to Oklahoma, I guess Oklahoma is TIA 2021 partnership.
Oklahoma Travel Industry
Yes.
Association.
Is this on one of
Yes.
these
It's on page 37.
37?
Yes, so the complete list of everything that's included in our annual contribution is listed there.
Did we do it
We've-
last year?
Do what?
Did we do it last year?
We've done it the last 2 years.
Did you get any impact off of it at all, or what did you?
Yes,
get?
they are the ones that, I mean, they produce the Zoom calls all through the COVID season of different ways that we can help our restaurants. They provided, at one point, we emailed out to all of the restaurants, the flyers that they can put up on their windows of requesting face coverings and everything else. That was all through OTIA that we were able to provide that.
Emails, you would have seen several different articles that travel information strictly for hotels, motels,
Good.
businesses, loans, all those type of things. And that's
Yes.
produced from them. That comes
Yes.
through them.
Are we starting a little late on this because last year is 12/2/20 on the invoice date?
There again, we did not meet in July. I mean,
January.
January. Y'all got me so confused. I don't know what month. it
Are we
is.
So-
still in the time limit as long as we get it
Yes,
now?
yes. We've
And
been,
$1,250, huh?
yes.
I make a motion, we, pay our membership to OTIA.
Danny
I'll
makes a
second.
motion on OTIA. Anybody got a second?
Charlie did.
Who did? Charlie? Charlie, we got a roll call, vote?
Trustee Anthony is absent. Trustee Calhoun.
Yes.
Trustee Cross.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson is absent. Trustee Reed, yes. Vice Chairman Scher.
Yes.
Chairman Thorpe.
Yes. Go down here and discuss and consider approval of grant application revisions, funding application. So
So this
apparently it
is,
hasn't been going that good. So which page is that on?
this is not in the packet. This is again, a proposal from us. Our grant applications, as we have seen with the one like we are about to present again, Mr. Crappie, they are not a nonprofit organization. They are a for-profit organization. And so we've requested them to send us something for that. What I am requesting is that we revise the grant application to allow people like that are the for-profit organizations to still be able to fill out the application, and we don't have to go back and request for more information. And also include in that revision in the authority signature. So when they are signing, when the applicant is signing, they are also signing that they understand that if they are awarded this grant, then Discover Durant gets top sponsorship. Our branding is included in the event. I mean, if we do it for $10,000, some people might say, well, a $10,000 sponsorship will get your name on a shirt, but we will have in the grant application that they sign, no, you put our brand on there.
So what you're trying to stop is just what happened a couple months ago.
What we are trying to do is make sure our branding gets out on everything that we fund. Thank you.
So this starts,
So this is just me asking that I would like to revise the grant applications to include that. If you guys approve and are okay with me doing that, then I will go back and make the adjustments in the grant applications and bring those revisions to you guys at the next meeting for approval.
That's what I like to have.
Yes.
Before we vote on this. I want to see what the pages look like in the revision you did. And that way we can go forward on the next business meeting.
Yes, but I would like approval first to be able to go in and make those revisions to bring back to you and also create funding applications. So for like what they presented on earlier for the Unity statue, it's a paper that they will have to fill out saying that they would like funding from Discover Durant for their, because our grant applications are for events. So this will provide something that they can fill out for other projects that will also include, if you are approved funding, you have to include our logo and our branding on the project somewhere. But it
I
would,
totally
This is you guys approving for me to create these applications and these
Now,
revisions.
we're not approving this grant application until we see it, right?
Correct. You are just approving saying you want me to go make these revisions.
I make a motion that we request her to,
We what?
I make a motion that we request her to do what she's proposing, bring it back to us for approval.
Okay, we got a motion.
I'll second it.
And a second with Tammy. Need a vote. Call.
Trustee Anthony is absent. Trustee Calhoun.
Yes,
Trustee Cross.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson is absent. Trustee Reed. Yes. Vice Chairman Sherrill.
Yes.
Chairman
Yes.
Thorpe.
Number 5, discuss and consider approval grant application. No, that's the last one. Number 6,
Number six.
discuss and consider approval of brochure racks at a Choctaw Casino.
So we have been able to start beginning to have conversations with the Choctaw Casino about putting brochure racks out there. We
We
were
would be putting the brochure racks out there.
out at the resort, and they are also, and it would also be probably at the headquarters and the cultural center.
Welcome,
So
Sam.
yes, so we are looking at, we would probably start with 4 to 7 racks. It would be roughly at max $2,000 for each rack. These racks would allow us to put in the collateral material that we're going to start having a graphic designer create, and they will also be digital. So each one of the collateral materials we make will have one of the QR codes, and they'll be able to take a picture on their phone, and then that brochure is then also on their phone.
What about the RV park?
They have not brought that, but that's an excellent idea. We'll make
We-
sure.
We get a lot of people at the store from the RV park.
And they do have, actually have a rack that we put paper literature in.
Mhm.
And if they would let us do that, I would say yes, ma'am, for sure.
Absolutely.
But we are already getting to put collateral materials in that,
Mhm.
which is a plus.
So total price on this right now, how much?
So we're asking for 4 to 7 racks at 2,000 apiece. So 14,000.
$14,000?
Yes.
who's gonna be making these?
Who is going to be making these? So the Choctaw Nation was going to be getting us some of the vendors that they have used in the past for the things in their casino, because they also want this to be on their brand as well. And so working with us, so it would be one of their vendors, but again, they will be getting us examples, and we'll be able to pick from that.
So we'll be using the Choctaws, the ones that make the racks for them.
Potentially.
We requested pricing with them so
And that's what
that
they
they
said.
are very capable. They're very capable of producing
Mhm.
those things. for
Sure
us.
they are.
Probably at much less than we would be able to go out and get them. We
Huh?
would just be using a vendor.
I don't have any problem with that, because what it is if we use what they want us to use, then they're gonna let us in. And they'll be.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
good.
I agree.
Anybody got a motion on this, or it's gonna be?
I'll make- To accept it?
Tammy makes a motion,
Yes.
the second,
I'll second.
Danny? Vote call?
Trustee Anthony is absent. Trustee Calhoun.
Yes,
Trustee Cross.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson is absent. Trustee Reed, yes. Vice Chairman Sherrill.
Yes.
Chairman Thorpe.
Yes. Number 7, discuss and consider the grant application. I think this is the third time around. Mr. Crappie LLC.
It is the third time around. Well, it feels more like about the 5th time around since we had it on the agenda since the
That's okay.
January meeting.
That's okay.
Mr. Crappie,
It's on page number 50.
his event will be May 21st. On page 56 is where he has his economic impact report. So you can see there, he's planning on bringing a total of 300 anglers.
do these dates differ any from the first proposal we got from him that?
Yes.
Yes, he did push back with COVID, just kind of still wanted to make sure he was a little more clear on where we were with that, with COVID.
Is he gonna be able to do it because of COVID this time?
Yes, he has spoken with the, because he is planning on having it at the event center, and he has spoken with them, and they have given him approval to be able to have it then. So
It's
yes,
outdoor, he should be able to have it.
yes. The weigh-ins will be at the Choctaw Event Center, the fishing will obviously
I
not
like
take
the
place there.
I like the place that he's having the invitational takeoff.
Yes,
First time I ever seen it over here at Catfish Bay, and it doesn't look good out there, but at least that puts us on the Durant, on the Oklahoma side.
yes, absolutely.
So
I'll
we're
make
looking at
a-
how much?
I'll make a motion to accept the grant for $10,000.
Okay,
Have we checked in, since it's a for-profit, have we checked into his background and have
Yes,
all the information we need?
This is a sanctioned tournament. And he has had these in, good grief, I cannot think of the, Possum Kingdom is one of the places he's had. And if you go to the website, which is listed on there, you will see the advertisements and where all they're having the tournaments and everything.
Who sanctions it?
FWL, which is the Fishing World League or
Yeah,
something.
Mhm.
I'm not a fisherman, other than a cane pole and pond.
Well, you know what, you'll never be a fisherman.
I'll be good. Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. I'm confident that we accept the grant.
okay, make a motion by Janet to take the grant on the Mr. Crappie LLC. Anybody got the second?
I'll second it.
Tammy's got the second. She's doing good. Okay, we need a vote.
Trustee Anthony is absent. Trustee Calhoun.
Yes.
Trustee Cross. Trustee Johnson is absent. Trustee Reed, yes.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sher.
Yes.
Chairman Thor.
Yes.
Okay.
Discuss and consider approval of the Durant Area Chamber of Commerce Representative of DTEDA monthly service for March 2021 and April 2021. Got any discussion on that? Got a motion?
The only discussion I might have is that we need to remember, we got to get our minutes approved before we can cut checks.
They are approved on all of those. I mean, we don't get the checks until after.
And that's why we put it on today's agenda instead of waiting until the next one, so that we could get these minutes approved and that we could get the minutes to them as well.
I'm just bringing it up. I
Yes.
just want to make sure that's what we do.
Yes, thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, we got a motion? Danny? You don't want to do this one? Anybody got a motion on approval of Durant Chamber of Commerce for the service fee?
Oh, yeah, I'll make a motion.
Danny, we will make a motion. Who's got a second?
I'll second.
Oh, Charles has got it this time.
Aye.
Okay, we got a roll call.
Trustee Anthony is absent. Calhoun.
Yes.
Trustee Cross. Trustee Cross.
Yes. Yes.
Trustee Johnson is absent. Trustee Reed, yes. Vice Chairman Sher.
Yes.
Chairman Thor.
Yes. 9A, update on Discover Durant Commercial. How's
So
that?
I'm also going to include 9B on that. Our activity report is included in the packet. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. But to save time, since it is 4:30, we brought the commercial that we approved Mr. Ward to create for us. Tammy, I found out, and Joe and Nathan, I apologize that it does not get to live stream, but I will be sure to email you guys a copy of the video just as soon as I get back over to the office.
How long has
I'm
he
sorry
been on
about
this? He's been on this commercial for about 5 or 6 months.
We know, because we had it ready for the January
Is this it
meeting,
right
so
here?
it was it. Yes, this is it.
It's been how long? 5 months, 6 months?
It was about 3-4 months, just for us
We
to be
actually
good.
had it ready the middle of December, but
Yeah.
it was after the meeting.
Yes. Okay.
Somewhere not so far away is a location waiting for memories to be made and unexpected finds and flavors to be discovered. It's no mystery. It's Durant, Oklahoma. If it's been a minute since you've last visited, you've missed out. This gym off Lake Texoma has so much to offer. There's something for every style, taste, interest, and age. Soak up every experience and take a few memories home with you. We invite you to stay, play, and enjoy right here in Durant, Oklahoma.
Want to run it again?
What do you think? You want to
Ready?
play one more time?
Somewhere not so far away is a location waiting for memories to be made and unexpected finds and flavors to be discovered. It's no mystery. It's Durant, Oklahoma. If it's been a minute since you've last visited, you've missed out. This gym off Lake Texoma has so much to offer. There's something for every style, taste, interest, and age. Soak up every experience and take a few memories home with you. We invite you to stay, play, and enjoy right here in Durant, Oklahoma.
Now, where would this be advertised? Where would this be at? The commercial, where is it used?
This is the one that we approved to go on to the Discover Oklahoma.
That'll
Yes.
That'll be every week. That'll be every week. One time?
No, it was,
We have placements for 8 commercials that will be on the Discover Durant site,
Okay.
which will.
Oklahoma.
air. I've asked him, we've been dragging our feet on this as well. And I've asked him to give us the May date and the June date that it will be available.
Okay. Was everybody pleased with that commercial? It looked pretty good.
Looks good, but what if at some point in the future we want to make some changes to it?
We can. We can. It's our commercial. We own it.
So we can do this every month and we can change it after a couple months to do something else, right?
Well, they're going to charge us.
we got to pay the videographer.
I understand, but what it is, if you want to throw, the bypass in or something like that, or
Oh,
really,
yeah.
really,
yeah.
if we had some old stuff on the Magnolia Fest, I mean, even though it's not yet, but having some of that on there, some of the stuff that we have,
Yes.
or the things we have would be good later on down the line. But I think that's a good
Well,
start.
and also the city is working with company CGI right now, and they're shooting some video. And my understanding, has Lisa Leah,
I believe so.
my understanding is that we're going to be able to utilize footage off of that video as well.
Mhm.
So I think that combining all of this, we're going to be able to have a pretty good archive of film that we can put together for other commercials.
And we can put this on our website, too, can't we?
We're working on that right now, Charlie.
Yeah, now what did this strip of film cost us?
2,500.
Who did it?
I'm
Would
sorry,
you like it, Tammy?
Who made the video?
Jason Ward.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't able
No.
to see it because the commercial can't
Oh.
live stream, but I will email it to you as soon as I get back over to the office.
So
It's-
we
It sounds,
most on this, all we're doing is just showing the update, right?
Correct. I was just showing if y'all had any
Everybody's okay for
revisions.
it.
Move forward and get it on air. Get
All right.
it airing.
I liked it. I liked it.
Everybody
I
happy?
like it.
Go for it.
Everybody happy? Then we're going to number B, Durant Area Chamber of Commerce Activity Report.
It's already included.
Do you guys have any questions on that? Just give
Okay,
me a
then.
call, email me.
That's it? Okay, we want a report from the Choctaw Nation Tourism Department. When are they going to start their event center back up? See there?
I
Yeah.
think, yeah, Joe McDaniels and that, both are there.
Ms. McDaniel's there?
They're both there.
Yep. Ms. Roach, Mr. McDaniel, y'all?
Y'all able to hear me?
huh?
Y'all can't hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I was making sure, I got a new headset today, so I was making sure the mic worked too. So, we sadly enough do not have any new updates for this round, but hopefully we'll have something new for y'all for the next meeting as well. But right now, there's nothing new coming from us at the moment.
You guys did go to to the NFR though in Dallas, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we had a blast up there, and it was actually a pretty good positive. A lot of people were out there, and it looked like it had a pretty good turnout for the Dallas area.
What about the poker tournaments? You still having those or not?
I'm unsure of that, honestly. I haven't seen anything on my end, but that's not to say that they haven't been doing them.
What does it look on the 1,000-unit hotel? Are we still at the end of this year how long is it gonna be before it gets opened up?
That date that I sent y'all like previously, I apologize. I wish I had a bigger update, but the last thing I heard was that date that I sent to y'all through email.
In 3 months?
I'm not for sure.
You think maybe 6 months it'll be open?
Fingers crossed. Hopefully it is. We're looking forward to it, and we're trying to get it out get it finished as quick as we can for y'all and for us as well.
Okay.
James Dry had told us this morning in board meeting that there had been a delay, of course, because
Sure
of
it
the
has.
weather.
Go, slow down.
But he said that it was still, they were hoping that it would be on target for summer, late summer, early fall.
Do we have anything else with tourism that's coming up, or do you have anything else to inform us on?
Sadly enough, no. We don't have any new events coming up right now that we know of or anything like that. Our Pathfinder will be coming out soon, but that's about all we have currently.
Okay. Any other questions?
I've got a question. I've been hearing from different sources that I don't know whether it's just plain old scuttlebutt or what, but I heard that you were going to build another tower just like this one in about a year or two. Is that?
Ooh, that's new to me. I honestly am not for sure on that. I don't think we are, but that is new news to me as well.
Okay.
I've heard the same thing, and you know what? I'm Choctaw. I'll vote for it.
Hey, I think we all would, honestly. I think we all would.
Anything else? Mr. Roach, we appreciate you coming every time. We know it takes time out of your schedule, and I'm sure you're busy, but at least you're keeping
Oh, yeah.
Choctaws.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I try to do my best. I apologize. I didn't have no new updates, but as soon as we get any, I'll let y'all know.
Thank you much. Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you.
Okay, got that? New business? Got any new business? I've got some new business. I'm talking to Janet, and for some reason, I know we changed it in our bylaws. And when it first started here, probably the first time we started, we had our meeting on the last Wednesday or last Tuesday of every month. And then we changed it to this. She's saying that she's had somebody come up to her and they think that our monthly meeting should be on the fourth Tuesday of every month. Is that what it is?
No, Jim. When we sent in the agenda last month,
Okay.
City Manager Dean sent us back and said that the ordinance states that we are supposed to have our meeting on the last Tuesday of each month.
Yeah, that's what it
He
said.
is correct. That is the way the ordinance reads. Why the suggestion was made, and it did come from the city because we were taking directions at that time from the city. We were a newly formed authority. So according to the statute, that ordinance cannot be changed. We can pick a time, but we will have to be in sync with what that ordinance says, which the ordinance says the last Tuesday of each month.
Let me ask a question on that. That's talking about the normal, regular meetings.
Yes.
The law states that we can change that by going through a procedure, which we've done.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay, so
We have actually turned everything over to the attorney, and he will be bringing, he told me, he said, I don't know. And he said, but I will find out and I will research it and bring it back. It was listed as an item on the agenda, and because he could not be here, it was removed from the agenda.
So we need that, what I'm saying on this is new business and this will be on the next one.
From what you've posted at the end of the year, you can change it. But when you post it at the end of the year, that's your regular meetings for the next year.
Okay, and I agree with you, Charlie. I know what you're talking about. That does follow open meeting law. But what Mr. Dean was saying was that was in the ordinance. That's what the people voted on. It's in the ordinance.
And so he doesn't think we can change it because it was in the ordinance that we first.
That's my understanding. Jim.
I understand
I
what
am
you're
not a
saying,
legal authority.
and I'm not either. We need to get our attorney to tell us.
And that's what he is working on. He is working on that.
So we have him working on it, and that's new business that's coming up this next meeting. Anybody else got anything that they need to, that's gonna be on the meeting next time? Nobody? You have anything, Jennifer? Okay, I need a motion.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second.
Get a second. We gotta have a vote.
Do we need to call roll?
Yep. Call the road, Miss Janet.
Is it? Ah, there it is.
Now, record keeper is something else that I learned when I was looking at the law again. When somebody leaves before the adjournment, you're supposed to make a note of it.
Yes,
And you're supposed to make a note of whether that takes your quorum away.
yes.
Danny had left. He
Denny
he had to have a break because he still got his glasses and everything over here.
Okay.
Yeah, he did not leave. He just
Sure.
left.
You drank too much
We
water.
do still have a quorum though with even.
Yeah,
four
we
here.
still got a quorum.
Trustee Anthony is absent. Trustee Calhoun,
Yes.
trustee Cross,
Yes.
trustee Johnson, absent. Trustee Reed, yes. Vice Chairman Sher.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Turn off your microphones.